There, this is Tom Parmalee, the founder of funeralvision.com, and today I'm joined by Michael Schimmel, the founder and CEO of Sympathy Brands. Funeralvision.com and Sympathy Brands are teaming up on Funeral IQ, which will be September 20th at the Live Casino and Hotel in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the day after the New Jersey State Funeral Directors Convention ends, and a quick 1 hour drive from Atlantic City. The event has already been approved for 5 hours of continuing education by the Academy of Professional Funeral Service Practice, and we are submitting the event for CEU approval for individual states as well. Michael, first, thanks so much for teaming up with funeralvision.com on Funeral IQ. Why should people mark their calendars for this event?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. This is exciting to partner together. And I think this is going to be a unique and special opportunity where together we're going to bring some great speakers, a great day of learning opportunities, but also something a little different than what has been historically put out there to really help advance people and the organizations that for those that come, so that we can really help advance the industry and bring things forward.
So first, I'm familiar with you. A lot of people in funeral service are familiar with you and your company, but some people aren't. So tell me a little bit about Sympathy Brands, what you do, and how you help funeral homes.
Absolutely. So Sympathy Brands and our consumer brands were built upon helping families, helping funeral homes, and bringing it together with support resources, tools, and technology to make it simpler, more cost efficient, drive revenue on the funeral home side, but also ensure that the consumer journey and the experience is simplified, unified, and to help to provide during this most difficult time a simpler process. So we're out there really working directly with funeral homes, cemeteries to help ensure that operational efficiencies are made a little simpler, and it helps support the individuals that are serving families, and then also help those families from pre-need to at need to memorialization, and really streamline the process a little bit.
Now, some people might be more familiar with some of the brands under your company. You own some pretty prominent websites and some URLs where you serve folks. Why don't you mention a few of those?
Absolutely. So cemetery.com, shiva.com, econdolence.com are our family consumer brands that are built upon and dedicated to learning, planning, and coordinating for all end-of-life matters. The basis of this is helping people during a time of need, and an educated and informed consumer and or supporter for that matter will be a better customer for a funeral home and family to serve. So we built everything we do on the principle of helping make it easier and educating, informing, and guiding people through this very fragmented and this crisis in many instances decision-making process, to help bring them to the funeral homes and help them through this real let's say difficult time and process that they're undergoing.
How did you start the company? You are a lawyer, correct, by background? And that's like a big leap. You went from being a lawyer to starting your own company. Just walk me through that a little bit.
Certainly, through the last decade plus, I entered the space through many do, which is I had an event that happened in my life which triggered me being exposed to the difficulties of this process, from not being familiar with death, not being familiar with what to do or how to do it. And I witnessed and saw family members from different states and coordinating and planning and not knowing what to do or how to do it. So it really was one of those instances where I had an aha moment, and it really resonated with me that there's a lot of people out there that are not familiar with the subject and didn't know what to do, and had not a single resource out there that was dedicated to informing them on traditions, customs, religion, culture, and the actual process of planning, coordinating a funeral, memorial, or celebration of life event from all facets. So that was really the impetus for entering and trying to figure this out with everyone.
Well, you are making an incredible difference. You are going to be one of the keynote speakers at Funeral IQ, and we have some other great speakers lined up as well. But the title of your presentation is Meeting People Where They Are, Using the Right Resources at the Right Time. What are some of those resources?
Absolutely. So, we've seen a massive, I hate to use massive, but we've seen quite a shift in consumer behavior and what families have expectations for, and what funeral directors and or cemeterians are capable and or desirous or prepared to provide to support the family. So we think there's a number of tools and services that can help to really deliver value and meet the expectations of an individual family that's entering into a funeral home or attending a burial. There's a desire and an expectation that we feel between streaming and aftercare and prayer cards, service folders, there are keepsakes, memorializations, and planning opportunities that we think will help to really support a family and meet their expectations, but also increase the true value that they're receiving, but reduce the work that's being done to deliver this, which is really, I think, at this point in time within the industry, some of the challenges that we have seen within organizations.
What are a couple of takeaways you think attendees are going to leave after hearing you talk and hearing your presentation?
I think that the biggest thing that I believe people will take away is that there's opportunities to advance and make subtle changes or shifts that will actually dramatically improve the business. It'll increase revenue. It will also, most importantly, improve the satisfaction of their team, their employees, the funeral directors, and also result in giving more value to the families, which will increase the general. It'll be a lift across the board as a result. So I think the biggest takeaways will be subtle shifts that can be made can really make massive changes in the business of the funeral home or
Now,
cemetery.
I'm not excited just to hear your presentation, but you are going to be joined by some really smart people. Welton Hong, the CEO of Ring Ring Marketing, Chris Kruger, the CEO of the Foresight Companies, Shane Pudens, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Carriage Services, and Dr. Amy Schiffman, a Chief Medical Officer and the host of the Mastering Medicare podcast. All
Mhm.
of these are great speakers who have lots of insights, but is there someone in particular that you're looking forward to hearing from most?
Well, that's really a loaded question because they're all great and not only great people, but this is one of the smartest groups that I've seen get brought together to present and speak. Everyone is going to contribute and bring a perspective, a knowledge, and information that, when taken as a whole, will be an incredible day, I believe, and opportunity for everyone. I am very excited to hear Dr. Schiffman with her presentation because I think these are some areas that we have opportunities to grow. And that means, how do we connect? How do we bridge the death care industry, the funeral, the memorialization industries with hospice and other organizations prior to death? And how do we talk with and engage with these organizations or individuals that are helping families that are navigating pre-death situations? So I am looking forward to hearing everyone equally. I think that it'll be a special time to bring some of that newer knowledge into our ether.
Now, I'll note also with Funeral IQ, one of the things I love about a conference like the one that we are presenting to the profession is that everyone is in the same room and together for a day. And when they check in, we'll have a cocktail hour. We all break bread together, sit and eat lunch together. And so there's no splitting off into different tracks and different groups. And I think while the speakers are going to be great, we are also going to learn from each other and develop those relationships and new friendships, which I think is just great. And you can't get at a lot of different venues. So where can people go to learn more about Funeral IQ? And do you have any final thoughts to share, Michael?
Certainly, they can visit either funeralvision.com or sympathybrands.com and access information on Funeral IQ, where it'll have all of the description of speakers, tickets, so that people can register, as well as accommodations that are available. In terms of closing words, we're excited as a team. I think there is no substitute, like you mentioned, for being in person. We are in a world where technology and other capabilities are being entered into the arena, and I think this is a really, special time where we're going to be able to get together and collaborate with some really smart people, and it's very exciting.
Well, Michael, thanks so much for joining me and sharing with me a little bit about yourself. And also, I'm thrilled and excited to be teaming up with you and Sympathy Brands on Funeral IQ. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.